Social media is now censoring FBI whistleblowers' families, and you have to ask, was the Biden administration involved? You're going to want to hear this one. Hello and welcome. Before we get into this, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell and give us a like. Likes and comments are the easiest and best way that you can help us spread this video to more and more people. All right, let's get into this. So, a whistleblower's wife is being censored on social media. You have to ask, was the Biden administration involved? Here we go. It appears that Facebook is spying on private messages, that's the IM service, of certain people, according to the New York Post. The big tech social media tech tyrant giant recently suspended the wife of whistleblower Steve Friend's account after she sent a message to a parent's post asking if her husband needed help. Her husband made a whistleblower complaint with the Department of Justice's, the IG, the Inspector General, where he claimed that the FBI, get this, was manipulating case file management to inflate the domestic terrorism threat, and that they were using excessively illegal force against political enemies of the Biden administration. Welcome to East Germany. So in other words, this FBI agent had had enough. He saw that internally the FBI, which is no longer a law enforcement agency, it's now an intelligence agency, and they are two different things, okay? As a law enforcement agency, you have timelines. Judges put limitations on you. We have the Fourth Amendment. We have a lot of protections for American citizens. But with intelligence operations, I mean, they could go on forever. You know, so this is what they're doing now. You know, the left is just, they're abusing the powers of government. So here's the thing, though. They're attacking whistleblowers. I thought whistleblowers were holy, and that a special place was reserved for them in heaven. All right, the Democrats told us that they crap rainbows and chocolate ice cream, right? Whistleblowers. Remember the whistleblowers, the second-hand and third-hand non-whistleblower whistleblowers during the Trump impeachment? Remember that? So how could it be that Facebook is censoring whistleblowers? So did Facebook just say, you know, out of the blue, hey, you know what, I think we don't like that they're talking about reality, so we're just going to censor them? No. We learned, let me just get into it. The question is, was the Biden administration involved in it? A few weeks back, we learned that the discovery phase of a lawsuit brought by the New Civil Liberties Alliance against the Biden administration, documents were revealed that the Biden administration was holding weekly censorship meetings with the big tech tyrants of social media. So it's not a real stretch to see the regime was behind the censorship of Friend's wife. Okay? It's not a big stretch. You know, they don't want whistleblowers talking, but their families, like, he was still an FBI agent, so they could tell him, you're not allowed to talk, gag order, you know, but can't stop the family. So here's what actually happened. The FBI suspended Friend last week when he refused to take part in what he believed was an unnecessarily brute force raid on the home of people who were suspected of committing a misdemeanor during the January 6th riot at the Capitol building last year. See, what they do is the whole thing is, we're going to raid this house. We're going to take, you know, anywhere from a dozen to 2 or 3 dozen FBI agents. We're going to have CNN cameras right outside waiting for us, and we're going to make a big show of it. This big desperado that we're going after for a misdemeanor charge, right? So this agent Friend, he was one of the good guys. He stood up and said, no more. This is wrong. We can't do this. And so what did they do? They suspended him. Okay? So Friend's wife, the agent's wife, she replied to a post by the group Moms for Liberty that advocates for parents' rights, and she had her account suspended for it. It's not the first time that she was censored. Quote, what can Moms for Life, M4L, do for Steve Friend right now, Moms for Liberty? Not Life, Liberty. They reached out via text message to a mutual friend. quote, "We want to offer community support of fundraising, though we feel it would likely be shut down." Because let's face it, that's another assault that the left does on conservatives. You know, you have all these crowdsourcing platforms that say, no, 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 you can't, no matter what it is, if it's a conservative, no, we're not going to allow it. You know, this is why we need a parallel economy. All right. She writes, "Can you reach out to him and let him know Moms for Liberty is thinking of him? And if we can provide any assistance, we are here." So they sent that out to Steve Friend's wife. It was a friend of Steve Friend's wife. Okay. So the wife replied using Facebook Messenger, the IM app, the chat app, okay, where she said that she was Friend's wife. She then thanked Moms for Liberty for offering their support and told the group that her husband was working on getting permission by the FBI to publicly speak about his complaint. Okay? Well, they didn't even want that out there. It was only after a half hour after Friend's wife sent that message that Facebook told her that her account was suspended for not following community standards. And I know from experience, when Facebook tells you that, it could be the end of 10 million things, because they rarely let you know. They just say, well, you violated our terms of service. Really? What part? They never respond. So now we have it where social media is censoring the families of FBI agents. Can you imagine? And I believe that the Biden regime was in on it. Like, why not? They had, what was it? They had like dozens of people in the regime in over a dozen departments, federal departments, that were having weekly censorship meetings with the tech tyrants. That was over COVID and several other things. That, see, what happens is the federal government can't violate free speech. It's the First Amendment. But they know that private corporations can. So they were ordering social media giants to do their dirty work for them. So if they're capable of doing that, because there's certain information they didn't want to get out there, and they all called it misinformation, right? But it wasn't misinformation. Think about it. They had that disinformation governance board. They literally were going to regulate speech, the government. Oh, no, that's not a violation of the First Amendment. Are you kidding me? It caught so much backlash that you remember they had to shut it down. But you know what? It's going to rear its ugly head again through NPR, I heard. So how? I don't know. But so who are the fascists here? You know, one of the traits, one of the characteristics of fascists is they silence the opposition. You know, Antifa, they call themselves anti-fascists. I think it stands for anti, free speech or First Amendment. They go out and beat the hell out of people who are exercising free speech that they don't like. You know, now I have to wonder, it's not a stretch, you have to wonder, are the Democrats involved with that group too? Because you had a lot of Democrats, like Joe Biden, said that Antifa is not real. It's just an idea. Really? Explain that to people that wound up in the hospital. Because Antifa used weapons or shot pepper spray in their eyes. You know, so this is really getting out of hand, that now you have the family members of FBI agents who are being censored. Their free speech is being blocked because the Biden regime doesn't want information going out there. I just don't think it's right, and you shouldn't either. This is frightening. It truly is frightening. We're learning more and more that the Democrat Party is acting more and more like a Soviet Politburo. And hopefully, after the midterm elections, this is going to change. Okay, that's it. Thanks a lot. Have a good night. We'll see you in the next one.